Thank you so much for watching Dakota Cowboy here on Beck TV, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. In this segment, we feature the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Hall of Honorees Inductee of the Week. This segment is brought to you by Torgerson Auto Center on East Bismarck Expressway in Bismarck. You know, winter has been tough on us all. And if it's been so tough on your vehicle that it doesn't look like it's going to make it through the rest of spring and into summer, then consider replacing it, and they make it easy for you at Torgerson Auto Center. Check out their inventory of light and heavy-duty trucks, cars, SUVs, minivans, and more. Torgerson Auto Center, East Bismarck Expressway in Bismarck, and they are fantastic people to deal with. If you go to the website, ndstockmen.org, you'll be greeted with a message that states the North Dakota Stockmen's Association is dedicated to uniting, protecting, promoting, educating, and serving the state's beef cattle industry. They're constantly in motion with their annual convention and trade shows, spring roundups, all breeds cattle tour, military appreciation day, and so much more. And all that they do was recognized in 2020 by the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. We go back to the induction ceremonies from 2020 as Board President Gerald Stocka, who is also a veterinarian, meaning his office works very closely with them, gives a brief biography on the North Dakota Stockmen's Association and introduces Julie Ellingson, who accepts the honor on behalf of the North Dakota Stockmen's Association.
So this is an award. I need to tell this story first, though, because this is special for me. I've been a Stockmen's member for some time, and it lapsed a little bit while I spent time in Kansas. But I want to tell this story about Dan's dad. I mean, that's what makes this place so special, is the stories that we tell. And they don't seem that big maybe in the present time that they happen, but they become bigger. Maybe they're embellished a little bit, I'm not sure. But you know, we get to spend this afternoon in a great place with great scenery, and people are happy and to be here. But there's also a side of dealing with life that's not quite so good. And I want to tell this story, but I want to tell it in the context that this is the way life is for most of us. This is probably the mid-'80s when I was in practice in the Cooperstown Vet Clinic, and had a call early in the morning from Dan's dad, Dennis Red Rorvig. Many of you would know Red Rorvig. And maybe he's even watching on Facebook Live, and I'm going to tell the story anyway. So he called early in the morning, and his ranch would have been about 25 miles from the vet clinic. So I drove up there early in the morning. It's kind of one of those gray, wet mornings in March. It was muddy, kind of half snow and half raining, and it was a prolapse uterus, and so those cases are kind of an emergency situation in a cow. And so I drove in the yard, and I was driving my GMC pickup. It did not have electric windows at the time, I might add. So I rolled down the window, and I look up, and there's Red standing there, and the rain is dripping off the brim of his hat. And he says to me, and I'm a relatively new veterinarian at this time, probably 3-4 years out of school and in practice. He just says to me, you know, it ain't all romance, is it, Doc? And that's true, isn't it? We get to enjoy this stuff, but those of us that deal with livestock and horses and real life, there's moments when it's not so good. But you know what? It's a test for all of us. How do we respond to those kinds of things? And many of those inductees today have responded not to quit, but to keep going. And that's what I admire about so many people that are here today, and especially our inductees. And it gives me a special privilege to introduce this next Special Achievement Award, and I'll read what that's all about. The Special Achievement Award this year goes to the North Dakota Stockmen's Association. This award is known for the preservation and promotion of North Dakota Western heritage and lifestyle. And this award is given only every third year. And so it's one that doesn't happen every year, but I'm so proud to introduce Julie Ellingson, the Executive Vice President of North Dakota Stockmen's, and Dan Rorvig, who's the current President of the North Dakota Stockmen's, to talk about this award. And I want you to welcome both of them here to this North Dakota Cowboy Hall event today.
Well, thank you, Jerry, and thank you to the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame for the incredible honor that you have bestowed on the North Dakota Stockmen's Association. We are so grateful and so humbled to have the opportunity to join the ranks of the many remarkable industry leaders and legends that adorn the halls here in Medora, and also the very distinguished 2020 classmates that we share this honor with. And we also want to extend our congratulations to all of you. I'm the lucky one who gets to stand before you and to share these remarks and accept this special achievement reward on behalf of the 3,000 cattle ranching families who today comprise the North Dakota Stockmen's Association. But this special achievement honor is not about me. It is about all of them and the thousands and thousands of cattle producers like them over the association's 91-year history, who helped provide a voice for our industry and our way of life, and over the years collectively rolled up their sleeves and dealt with the challenges that we were facing, just like Jerry was talking about. To me, this honor is a special tribute to people like Andrew Johnstone and John Lakey, whose vision helped create the formation of this organization, and for those who they passed the torch to, people like Melvin Leland, Steve Brooks, and Dan Rorvig. Also to people like Roger Stuber and Gene Harris, who went on to serve and represent North Dakota in national leadership roles. There's people like Wade Mosier, who dedicated his career to advocating for our industry. And honorary members like Fred Sorensen, who shared the story with me last night, remembering back in April 1954 when that first Bar North arrived in the mailbox, and how as he paged through that bright yellow covered magazine, how he looked to the names of the directors and the officers on the back with their brands, and how that created inspiration for him to become involved in the organization and to serve. This organization and this honor is also for all those people who served on the board or the committee, who volunteered at a youth event, attended a convention, or drove to Bismarck on a blizzardy January morning to show support for a bill at the Capitol that we were working towards. It's also for those people who stayed home that morning to tend to the chores so somebody else could go and make that trip. It's for those who have written a dues check faithfully year after year, who wear the bright little yellow lapel pin on the collar of their shoulders and have a bright yellow sticker in the back of their pickup truck, and who get up every morning and are proud to do their job caring for the land and the livestock. I'm pleased that many, many of those folks are here to share in this celebration today. And if you would indulge me, I would ask for all those who are North Dakota Stockmen's Association members, please to stand and be recognized for your honor. Thank you. Those are my people. Our organization got its start not too far from here in Watford City, June 6, 1929. And back in 1929, cattle rustling was the rallying cause that brought our members together and created the establishment of our organization. More than 9 decades later, unfortunately, cattle rustling is still a concern. But those rustlers aren't always the kind that come in the dead of night and steal cattle. Sometimes they come in the form of activist organizations or over-the-top government regulations, or even global pandemics that send our markets in a tailspin. There is certainly a lot of work left to be done. And that's why the Stockmen's Association views the Special Achievement Honor not only with appreciation, but with a sense of responsibility to continue to preserve a strong future for the cattle industry. Before I close, I also want to extend a very special recognition and sincere congratulations to the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame on your own special achievement. A quarter century of telling the stories and preserving the history of our Western culture. 25 years is an important milestone, and certainly the service that you provide is invaluable to our generation and to those to come. On behalf of all of our members from over our 91 years, thank you so much for this incredible honor.
The North Dakota Stockmen's Association also has their eye on the future and the next generation of cattle producers in the great state of North Dakota. They have such things as youth events, which include a Junior Beef Expo. They have scholarships, and they have tomorrow's Top Hands Beef Leadership Summit, and much, much more. Find out more at ndstockmen.org. And students, find out how you can get a $20 discount on your membership fee. The North Dakota Stockmen's Association, our North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Hall of Honorees Inductee of the Week, brought to you by Torgerson Auto Center. Well, it is Easter Sunday, and so for you to spend time with us tonight here on Dakota Cowboy, so greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. We'll be back one more time here on Dakota Cowboy, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust.